Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Betwabu. Remember, I'm getting tongue-tied. Remember, Betwabu means house of the Father. All right, beautiful people. It is Thursday, December 26, 2019, day 29 of year 2. We are reading Exodus 35, 36, and 37. Let me apologize ahead of time for me constantly sniffing. Thought I was doing real good. My grandbaby came over with the sniffles and stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm normally extra careful when kids come around with colds and stuff. Get away. We don't do sickness around here. Boy, I tell you. Then he sneezes and it gets everywhere. And I'm right there. It's like, and I'm like, no. So I'm trying to wash hands as fast. Of course, I was cleaning him up because he had it like everywhere. So cleaning him up as fast as possible. I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I get my Lysol and everything. But you know what? I started sniffing. So I have to consume a bunch of citrus fruit today. Like I was consuming apples yesterday. Normally, if that happens, it normally take like a couple days to completely get rid of it. Just ward it off altogether. So if you're starting to get the little sniffles or cold, fresh citrus fruits and apples. Actually, watermelon too. Because when my kids were, they still small, but when they were smaller, I would just load them up on watermelon. And within a day or two max, or whatever was trying to come, completely gone. So that's a little tip of the day. So, all right. Exodus 35, 36, and 37. And actually, let's see, tomorrow we read the last 3 chapters of Exodus, and we're in Leviticus again. So Exodus 35. And Massa gathered all the congregation of the children of Yisrael together and said unto them, These are the words which Yahuwah hath commanded that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be unto you a holy day, a Sabbath of rest to Yahuwah. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. And Massa spake unto all the congregation of the children of Yisrael, saying, This is the thing which Yahuwah hath commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto Yahuwah. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it in. An offering to Yahuwah of gold and silver and brass and purple and blue and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins, and shittim wood, and oil for the light, and the spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, and onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate. And every wise hearted among you shall come and make all that Yahuwah hath commanded. The tabernacle, his tent, his covering, the tacks, and his boards, his bars, his pillars, and sockets, the ark and the staves thereof, with the mercy seat and the veil of the covering, the table and his staves, and all the vessels, and the showbread, the candlestick for all the light, and his furniture, and his lamps with all the oil for light, and the incense altar, and his staves, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the door at the entering in of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, with his brazen grate, his staves, and all the vessels, the laver, and his foot sockets, and the hanging for the door of the court, the pins of the tabernacle, and the pins of the court, and their cords. The cloths of service to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron's priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office. And all the congregation of the children of Yisrael departed from the presence of Massa. Bella, turn that down some, please. That is loud. Yeah, I know, but you gotta turn it down some, boo. Okay? Turn it down, or you gotta go upstairs.
Where's Kelly and Sparrow?
Turn it down. Thank you. And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him up, and everyone whom his spirit made willing. And they brought...
that one.
Yep, give me a second. Hold on, I'll get you some. And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him up, and everyone whom his spirit made willing. And they brought Yahuwah's offering to the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, and for all his service, and for the holy garments. And they came, both men and women, as many as were willing-hearted, and bore bracelets and earrings and rings and tablets, all jewels of gold, and every man that offered an offering of gold unto Yahuwah. Bella, that's still kind of loud. You got to turn it down just a little bit more. Turn it down a little bit more. Verse 23. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and red skins of rams and badger skins brought them. Turn it down a little bit more, please. Bella, turn it down a little bit more. Thank you. Everyone that did offer an offering of silver and brass brought Yahuwah's offering, and every man with whom was found shittamullet for any work of the service brought. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands, and bought that which they had spun, both of blue and purple, and of scarlet, and of fine linen. And all the women whose heart was stirred in them wisdom. And all the women whose heart stirred them up in wisdom spun goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones, and the stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate, and spice and oil and light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. Bella, can you go back upstairs? This is kind of loud. You gotta roll, sis. Yeah, you gotta roll out. That's kind of loud. Or you go get hit. She brought her face up. Or go get some headphones. Or take it back upstairs, climb up on my bed. I'll be up there in a second, okay? She gonna go look for headphones. And the rulers brought onyx stones and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate, and spice and oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. The children of Yisrael brought a willing offering unto Yahuwah, every man and woman whose heart made them willing to bring, for all manner of work which Yahuwah had commanded to be made by the hand of Massa. I just remember something. Sorry, y'all. I'm turning this up. Y'all could probably hear me, but I just remember I turned it down last night. All right, very good, very good. Come on. And he filled, and Massa said to the children of Yisrael, see, Yahuwah hath called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of of the tribe of Judah. And he hath filled him with the spirit of Yahuwah in wisdom and understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in the cutting of stones, to set them in carving of wood, and to make any manner of cunning work. And he hath put in his heart that he may teach, both he and Oholiab, the son of Ahimelech, of the tribe of Dan. Them hath he filled with wisdom of heart, to work all manner of work of the engraver, and of the cunning workman, and of the embroiderer, in blue, and in purple, and scarlet, and in fine linen, and of the weaver, even of them that do any work, and of those that devise cunning work. Chapter 36 of Exodus. Then wrought Bezaleel and Oholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahuwah put wisdom and understanding, to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahuwah hath commanded. And Massa called Bezaleel and Oholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whose heart Yahuwah had put wisdom, even everyone whose heart had stirred him up to come unto the work to do it. You got it? Come here. Here. What's that? Close that refrigerator, please. Got it? Very good, very good. All right. And all the wise men that wrought all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they made. And they spake unto Massa, saying, the people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahuwah commanded to make. And Massa gave commandment. And you have to get the other ones. Go get the other ones. I think that's too big to fit into the port. Okay, let me see them. Let me see them. Don't put them on the floor. Get in here. Go get the other ones. Go ahead. Go get the other ones. Children. Well, I tell you. Okay. And Massa gave commandment, and they ceased it, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, let neither man nor woman make any more work, for the offering of the sanctuary, so the people were restrained from bringing. And the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. And every wise-hearted man among them that wrought the work of the tabernacle made 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work made he them. The length of one curtain was 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. The curtains were all of one size. Nuh-uh, don't pull those out, Sootie. I mean, well, I guess you can. Stick them on the refrigerator. All right, you welcome. And he coupled 5 curtains, one unto another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled one unto another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of one curtain from the selvage and the coupling. Likewise he made in the uttermost side of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops made he in one curtain, and 50 loops made he in the edge of the curtain which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 tacks of gold, and coupled the curtains one into another with tacks, so it became one tabernacle. They linking all the walls together with couplings and tacks. And he, hold on to that. Verse 12. 50 loops made he in one curtain, 50 loops made he on the edge of the curtain, which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. Okay. And he made 50 tacks of gold, and coupled the curtains one unto another with the tacks. Tiny baby, cut it back on, please.
Mommy, it's cold.
You can go in the living room. Thank you.
Mom, I like.
Okay, hold on. Let me cut this fan off, y'all. She doing the most this morning. You can say not to cut this fan off. Okay. Get a second to completely go off. But I tell you, 3 years old. Thinks she run everything. Okay. Up, turn it back down. And he made, I'm sorry, I read that. Verse 15. The length, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. No, listen. If you're going to play with that on the refrigerator, we need to pause this and cut it down even more, right? You can leave it right there if you want to watch that while you're playing with that. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Verse 15. The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and 4 cubits was the breadth of one curtain. The 11 curtains were of one size. And he coupled 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops upon the uttermost edge of the curtain and the coupling, and 50 loops made he upon the edge of the curtain which coupled the second. And he made 50 tacks of brass to couple the tent together, that it might be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins, dyed red, and the covering of badger skins above that. And he made boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. The length of the board was 10 cubits, and the breadth of a board 1 cubit and a half. One board had 2 tinions equally distant from one another. Thus did he make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side southward, and 40 sockets of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, which is toward the north corner, he made 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, he made 6 boards, and 2 boards he for the corners of the tabernacle and the 2 sides, and they were coupled beneath and coupled together at the head thereof to one ring. Thus he did together both of them in both the corners. And there were 8 boards, and their sockets were 16 sockets of silver, under every board 2 sockets. And he made bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the sides westward. And he made the middle bar to shoot through the boards from the one end to the other. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and he made their rings of gold to be places for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and purple and scarlet, And fine twined linen with cherubims made he of it cunning work. And he made thereunto 4 pillars of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold, and he cast them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a hanging for the tabernacle door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of needlework, and the 5 pillars of it with their hooks. And he overlaid their chapiters and their fillets with gold, but their 5 sockets were of brass. All right, y'all, last chapter for the day, Exodus chapter 37. And Bezaleel made the ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth of it, and 1 cubit and a half the height of it. And he overlaid it with pure gold within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. And he cast it 4 rings of gold to be set by the corners of it, even 2 rings upon one side of it, and 2 rings upon the other side of it. And he made staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put staves into the rings by the sides of the ark to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And he made 2 cherubims of gold, beaten out of 1 piece made he them on the 2 ends of the mercy seat, 1 cherubim on the end of this side, and another cherubim on the other end on that side. Out of the mercy seat made he the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim spread out their wings on high, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, with their faces one to another, even to the mercy seat toward were the faces of the cherubims. So you ever read so long it seemed like all the words are running together? So I'm trying to read slow, but make sure I'm still reading so I sound coherent, because it seems like all the words are running together. That's why I use my pen most of the time, or some kind of pointer. And he made the table of shittim wood. 2 cubits was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and he made it thereunto a crown of gold round about. And he made also thereunto a border of a handbreadth round about, and he made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings upon the 4 corners that were in the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border there were rings, the places for the staves to bear the table. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold to bear the table. And he made the vessels which were upon the table, his dishes, and his spoons, and his bowls, and his covers, to cover withal of pure gold. And he made the candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work he made the candlestick. His shaft and his branch, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers were of the same. 3 branches of the candlestick out of one side thereof, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side thereof. Oh, right here they're making the menorah. So you see the you know what a menorah is. It's that candle with the long shaft, and it has the different candlesticks coming out the side of it. Well, the one that they were commanded to build had 3 candles coming out of each side with a shamash in the middle. You got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you see it with 4 on each side. I don't know where that came from, but the one they were commanded to be built had 3 candles coming out of each side, with the main candle in the middle that you take and you light the other candles. Okay. 3 bowls made after the fashion of almonds in 1 branch, a knop and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knop and a flower, so through the 6 branches going out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick were 4 bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers. And a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under... Bella, quit turning it up. Turn it down. Turn it back down. I'm going to take it and turn it off until I'm done. Thank you. And a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches going out of it. Their knops and their branches were the same. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. So he made his 7 lamps, and his snuffers, and his snuff dishes of pure gold. Of a talent pure gold he made it, and all the vessels thereof. And he made the incense altar of shittim wood. The length of it was a cubit, and the breadth of it was a cubit. It was 4 square, and the cubits was the height of it. The horns thereof were the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold, both the top of it and the sides thereof round about, and the horns of it. Also he made unto it a crown of gold round about, and he made 2 rings of gold for it under the crown thereof, by the 2 corners of it, upon the 2 sides thereof, to be places for the staves to bear withal. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil, and the pure incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the apothecary. And that is our reading for today, beautiful people. Sorry for all the interruptions. Kids get up and they just...
TV.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, beautiful people. Let me go ahead and bless you so you can get about your day. May you will bless us and keep us. May you will make his face to shine upon us and lift his countenance upon us and be gracious unto us in our households. And may he give us his shalom or his peace or his wholeness. We do this every day. Y'all know what peace is, shalom is, or salama. It means he keeps us as we keep his commands. Even when we're unfaithful, he continues to be faithful to us. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the morning. Peace.